Should the upcoming Deadpool movie be rated R or be rated PG-13? This has been the topic of a lot of debate lately, and Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds has just added to that debate. In a recent tweet, Reynolds said the following in response to a fan asking about the rating for the upcoming movie. "I want Deadpool to be R. Always have. Fighting the good fight still. Lotta yelling today." John, what do you think of Reynolds' comments?
BS. Total, utter, complete BS. And here's why he's BS. And Ryan is a good Canadian boy. Everybody knows I love Ryan Reynolds. I think he's a terrific and underrated performer. Like I said, good Canadian kid from the hills of Vancouver, where they're shooting Deadpool, by the way. But this statement from him is totally BS. Why is it totally BS? Because they already know if this is going to be rated R or not. They knew this movie was going to be rated R or not when they greenlit it or didn't greenlight it. When Ryan Reynolds was trying all that time and for all the years to get them to okay a Deadpool movie, there was no universe in which you convinced me that they didn't settle on, okay, we'll do it and it'll be rated R, or we'll do it and it'll be rated PG-13. And everybody knew that right from the beginning. The script is done. They're shooting the frickin' movie, for heaven's sakes. They all already know if this is going to be an R-rated film or a PG-13 film. And here's the thing. This statement was done for one of two reasons. Number one, this statement was made because they already know it's going to be a PG-13 rated thing, and they just want to get people talking and Ryan Reynolds to look like the people's hero, going out there saying, "Oh, we're trying to get rated R." He already knows if it is or not. Or this is going to be a rated R movie, and they're trying to set up set up this big thing like a WrestleMania, where finally when they come out and make okay, it's rated R, then all the fans and Ryan Reynolds can stand up in this artificially created hoopla and go, "Yeah, we won the battle and we got it rated R." It's total BS. I'm cool if this movie is rated R. Actually, I'm really excited if it's rated R. I'm totally cool if it's PG-13. A lot of Deadpool's original material is PG-13 stuff if you really read it. And that little fan teaser thing that put out, guess what? That was PG-13 too. So I prefer R. I'm totally okay if it's PG-13. Don't play the fans like this. Don't treat us like we're dumb. So I lost a little bit of Ryan Reynolds' shine came off for me with this stupid tweet. Anyway, Schnepp, you read it. What did you think?
I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think he's playing fans.
You got a big, long hair.
Ryan Reynolds put it on me.
That's what we do around the AMC Movie News. We groom each other.
Yeah, and we don't take bribes or stuff. We're just like, just put some of your hair on me.
That's so great. I'm crying.
Yeah, small tear. But no, honestly, I don't think Ryan Reynolds is playing the fans about, hey, we just had a big argument about it. Maybe that's a little bit, puffed up. But, a lot of films do ride that line while they're shooting, where they could go R or they could go PG-13, where they shoot the scene bloodless and they add the blood later. Like, look at 300 as a perfect example, where all of the blood and decapitations and mutilations and foot and hand decapitations are all digital. So you have that choice once you've shot the entire film, whether you just clean it up, cut away from that, put a cloak in front of it. That's exactly what's happened in many, many, many films. You had the guy who did Equilibrium. He did this other film, Ultraviolet, where, basically you got swords cutting people's heads off. There's no blood. And that movie was rated PG-13, and it ruined the movie, where you're like, look, I'm watching stuff and there's no impact, or actually they shot it in a way that should have been violent, but none of that stuff was there. So you do have to kind of pick how you're going to do stuff. Like, are you going to shoot it so that it's R-rated? They could always shoot the R-rated version and trim it down and make it a PG-13. So I think whether or not he's playing to the fans or not, I think they haven't made their decision yet. The script is written. I'm sure that's chock full of swear words. But like I said yesterday, I think they could bleep that out. They could make it work and make it funny and make it play to the audience. So in my opinion, I think what he's saying, I believe him. So,
Christian, do you think that they started shooting this movie knowing it was PG or not?
I think that I gotta say I'm more on Schnepp's side on this one, just because I do think that they could, depending on how the script says, like with directing, even if you watch certain director's cut that were PG-13 and then on Blu-ray it's because of like you said, the camera angles and point of impact on gunshots and how things look and how violent. Like if you cut away at a certain point in the PG-13 movie, the guy died, but in the R version you see his head get blown off. So it's like they could do things like that in the script. So the script could say blah 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 shoots him in the head, and then the PG-13 version you just see him point the gun and you realize that he dies, but in our version you see him get shot in the head. Now, as far as the language goes, if they decided, okay, look, we're going with the R heavy blood filled film, throw a couple F-bombs in there. You know, if it's Ryan Reynolds, you let him improv. But the reason more so on just the directing as far as how they shot it in the beginning, if they knew it was going to be PG-13 R, more on Reynolds' comments. I do think that he plays to the fans for a reason. It was the fans and the fans' excitement that they were able to take the initial Deadpool. Look at the fans want this movie. The fans, like they were able to, when they put that test footage out to see how the fans would react. Reynolds is smart in knowing how to play to social media as well too. So if he is indeed fighting a fight to try to get it made rated R, then maybe going to the fans is one of his strategies. However, I don't think it's going to be R. I think it's going to be PG-13 because I think that they're going to wind up using Deadpool in the X-Men universe to almost replace Wolverine. So in order to do that, and you want to get that mass X-Men PG-13 audience, that's what they're going to have to do, although I want a rated R Deadpool.
See, here's the thing. I actually think this all points to it, maybe that we are actually going to get a rated R Deadpool. I think it all points to it because one of the things is I believe Ryan Reynolds is too smart to... Because what did he just do? If this studio and Ryan Reynolds haven't already decided whether this is going to be PG or not, I think you're right. There are instances where a studio shoots a film and once they get the feel of the film and they're seeing how it turns out, then they make that decision. I almost feel like a movie like Deadpool, they had to know, a movie like Deadpool, I think one of the first questions they were going to have to answer for themselves was, is it R or PG? It doesn't have to be, but I feel like it would be. But this is where I think Ryan Reynolds is too smart to come out after years of trying to convince a studio to make this movie, to now come out on his social media and throw the studio under the bus. Because he just painted himself into a corner. What happens now if the movie ends up being PG-13? What's he going to do as president? Yeah, I mean, it's not the movie I wanted, guys. I want rated R. Right. I almost think this points to the fact that they did decide to make it R. I think they are going to make it R. I think this movie is going to end up being R because of this tweet. I think this, not because he did it, but I think this points to the fact that they've already decided it's going to be, and this is all just set up so the studio and Ryan Reynolds and all the fans can say, yeah, all together we came to it and we made it an R. I think it's going to be rated R.
Or he's using this as a way to prove to the studios who are still fighting for PG-13 that he's right, or the people who are on his team to try to make it R. I think they're shooting it both ways because, like you said, you know, you have that latitude. You go to the MPAA and they're like, get rid of that decapitation, we'll make it a PG-13. Right. That's how other things go from an R to a PG-13 or from a PG-13 to an R. They're like, screw it, it's R. Look at Kingsman, that's R. That made over $300 million. So that's to me, like, hey, it's a comic book movie. It's incredibly violent in a real satisfying way where, you know, one of our favorite scenes is that church scene. It's insane. It's so much fun. So
yeah,
it's like,
the thing is, the X-Men thing is the only reason why I think the studio, if it was a standalone film, then I think it'd be an easier fight to fight. But it's because of the X-Men and the tie-in to having Deadpool and the X-Men. Because if they have,
well, look at it this way. Sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but it's Fox owns Deadpool,
right?
And there's a giant war right now with Marvel and Fox, and they're like, you're not going to get any toys. Sorry, you're not going to get anything from us. As long as you own the X-Men, we're killing the X-Men.
Right.
Suck on that. They're like, all right, we'll suck on that. We're going to take all that into the adult world.
We'll take all that money.
Yeah, we're just going to take that into the adult world as far as Deadpool goes, because the way Deadpool's written, it's an adult comic book. It's like adults like it.
But you're talking if John Schnepp was the studio exec.
No, I know.
Those guys over there,
we're in our alternate. This is an alternate dimension of.
But to Schnepp's point, though, I mean, if you think about it this way, it being Fox, right? Fox has a history of taking their own R-rated franchise and still within that franchise, when they wanted to, downgrading it to a PG-13. Let's look at Die Hard, right? There are a number of R's, and without crossing John McClane into another cinematic universe, which would make it even easier, I think, they just took an R-rated franchise and made a PG-13. Now, then you can argue about the quality of that movie and all that. Sure, but the issue is that Fox doesn't seem to mind starting something off at R and move it to PG-13. So I think you could, in theory, do an R-rated Deadpool and then take that Deadpool and put him into a PG-13 X-Men without there being too much of a bump, I think. Or you're completely right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
hard. We'll never know, really.
Yeah, we'll never know until the movie comes out.
Yeah. Hey, everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.